Monsieur le commissaire, dans votre rapport, il n'y a pas un mot sur la Palestine, pas un mot sur Gaza. Pourtant, la Palestine est partenaire du Conseil de l'Europe dans le cadre de sa politique de voisinage. Israël est un État observateur de notre Assemblée. Plusieurs pays de l'Union européenne fournissent des armes à Israël. Et toutes les capitales européennes ont vu les peuples s'opposer au génocide en cours. Votre silence semble être une faute politique et morale. Monsieur le commissaire, comptez-vous corriger cela en 2025 ? Pensez-vous que les droits de l'homme, la démocratie et l'état de droit sont valables au-delà ?
Commissioner, you have the floor.
Merci, Madame CHIKIROU. Yes, my report does engage the issues. Let me start by saying that I am outraged by what's happening in the Middle East. I'm outraged by what Hamas did in October of that year, and I'm outraged by the violations of international law in the responses by Israel. So let there be no doubt about that. But I have a mandate to focus on the situation of human rights inside the Council of Europe, and I must respect that mandate, because the moment I step outside that mandate, I will be expected, quite legitimately, to speak about the situation in multiple other places across the world where horrible acts are being perpetrated on a daily basis. But that is not to say that the context of Israel and Palestine is not impacting inside the Council of Europe, and I am extremely vocal on that. So, for example, the rise of anti-Semitism and of anti-Muslim hatred. I have spoken out repeatedly on these issues. I will continue to do so. And, by the way, I will continue to challenge our countries to gather the data around the incidence of anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim hatred as a basis on which to act. And that's to some extent being done in the EU, but not to a great extent in other Council of Europe member states. The second dimension is integrating the Muslim and the Jewish communities into a debate about the future of our societies. Again, I think this is underdeveloped, and I want to see it greatly encouraged. Second, I'm very concerned about the extent of the excessive restraint on protest in Europe. I think, for instance, of the situation in Germany, where we've gone too far in the application of restraint around legitimate freedom of expression, freedom of assembly and association. And that is something I'm looking at actively right now. I named one country, but it's actually a number of contexts. And third, as I've said, and by the way, I've said all of this to the Committee of Ministers, I'm very worried about the exchange of arms. And the Council of Europe must be extremely vigilant in terms of the use that arms and armaments and related technology, the use to which it is put by states in the region. Because we have to follow the value chain in terms of taking responsibility for the human rights impacts of our trade in or our transfer of arms. Thank you.